I give everything I absolutely had to this game? That is the most important thing. The rankings, rankings come and go, opinions change, doesn't matter. And you can look yourself in the mirror and say, did I give everything I could? Did I do everything possible to try to get better? If the answer is yes, let the dust settle where it may. We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because we had a dream. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger.
What is up, Dodger fans? Man, I'm wearing the wrong hat. Shoot. My bad, guys. Here we go. I'm still in Lakers celebration mode. What is up, guys? Hope you guys are doing fantastic, amazing, spectacular. You are great. Having an amazing Thursday. You had an amazing Wednesday and absolutely an incredible, unforgettable Tuesday night. I'm your host, LAJ, excited for the first time in a very, very long time to finally do a show. Not only because the Lakers are champions, but because the Dodgers are also champions. And LA has officially become the mecca of sports champions. And it is my pleasure to introduce and bring on board the man that's been with LA for the longest and seen the most titles anybody else has for LA, Mr. Mike Pugrad. Mike the OG. How you doing, Mike?
Lakers, Dodgers, back-to-back championships next year. I called it right now.
Yeah, I feel a little hungover. To be honest with you, I feel hungover. I don't know why. I think all these years of stress, like right now at this moment, I would be. Let me take off my glasses. I feel like during right now, we'd be pissed, upset, wanting Dave Roberts, Andrew Friedman, Clayton Kershaw, everybody to get murdered, to get fired, traded. We right now would be all up in our feelings, but not this year. Not this. One of the worst years in the history of mankind, 2020, has turned out to be one of the greatest years for LA sports. And man, I feel like relieved. Like this is the first time I'm actually like relieved. Like I'm not stressed. I'm not mad. I'm just How are you feeling, Mike?
I'm very happy. I'm happy for for all you guys who have been hanging in there for years, being taught to be Dodger fans since you're little kids, taken to the ball game by your parents, and then saying the Dodgers are going to win this year. The Dodgers, you got the Dodgers, and then there was a time a couple of years ago, maybe about a year ago, when they didn't make the World Series. I had a talk with my two boys. I said, you know what, I'm sorry. I feel like I let you kids down. I felt that I let them down, that the Dodgers didn't win, that I led you down this path, to be a Cub fan, to be a Red Sox fan, 100 years of not winning. Can you imagine not living your whole life and not seeing a championship in your hometown? And I was really upset with the Dodgers for not winning it for your generation, Jay, for my children's generation. But now that is the past. And now we have a 2020 championship team that, under all the crazy circumstances with this COVID, no fans, and then actually what happened to Justin Turner at the end of the game just kind of put an exclamation point on how crazy this year has been. Even though we are champions, now we have this other thing to deal with. But hey, they can't take the championship away from us.
No.
We didn't cheat anybody like the Astros or the Red Sox. We won it outright. and we were the best team on paper going into the season, and it proved out. And remember, about a month ago or so, I said the two teams that were going to be in the World Series would be the Rays and the Dodgers. Do you remember that, Jay?
I would have to go back, but sounds real. Sounds real.
Yeah, so I was on point, and I'm glad I was right, because, the whole city, the whole city's gone crazy. They're so happy.
Yeah.
The Lakers, LeBron James tweeted out about the Dodgers winning, congratulating them, and then funny thing is Jared Goff from the Rams tweeted Bellinger, and I think it was
no, text messages. They changed. They exchanged text messages.
And he says, "Now it's your turn."
Yeah.
They told Goff.
So the pressure is really on. The pressure is really on the Rams. That's real.
Pressure on the Rams.
That is real. But looking at things like that is, oh my, I don't know how to describe it, but it just makes me so proud to be a Laker, or to be a LA sports fan in general, because of the support that everybody has. Fuck the Clippers and fuck the Angels, fuck them. But the fact that LeBron James went out and was pushing the Dodgers and, telling them all the right things, and Kershaw, you got to put some respect on Kershaw now that he's a champion. The love and admiration that these teams were giving each other is amazing. It's completely amazing, and just the motivation behind it as well. Now you have Cody Bellinger and the team pushing the Rams. So the love in LA sports is really tight. It's legit. Like, this is real. This is unbelievable. It's I really can't believe, like, they are like Bellinger probably, that's not, the Rams isn't probably his his team, his actual team, LeBron James either, but you have them saying, hey, I'm adopting this team now because I live here and I got to support LA and I got to support this new team and bring more joy to this city. And
Jared
for them
Goff, Jared Goff is a
Stanford guy,
Giant fan.
And he played in Stanford. I remember him beating the USC. I remember him beating USC.
Yeah, and now he's an LA guy.
Yep.
He's embraced it because now he knows this is our city and we are passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, we are passionate.
Yep.
For our teams.
Yep.
We have passion. I mean, look, you go around, Jay. You wore that Dodger hat for 32, 33 years. How old are you? 33.
33.
You're 33 years. You've been a Dodger fan all your life. All you knew were the Dodgers, and now they've given you a championship. So when you walk around with this jersey on and this hat, you get much respect. That's, people, congratulations. People walking, I drive around town, people tipping their hats and doing this, and strangers. It's too bad that COVID has had us all separated.
Yep.
That we can't celebrate together, and that there's not going to be a parade.
Well, not yet. But I think they're gonna push for a joint parade. And look, the world, LA might be able to withstand the chaos that's gonna ensue with a double parade, a Lakers and a Dodger parade. We might survive because it's gonna be wild. I'm talking about the freeways are gonna be closed. LA is gonna be shut down for these parades.
Well, there was never really a parade when the Dodgers won the championship. They just showed up at City Hall.
Oh, okay. See, they didn't have those type of buses, did they?
There was no parade. That parade never came until the Lakers won.
There you go.
Then the Lakers started the parade.
So did the Lakers also do that? They just showed up at the Staples Center or City Hall?
They just showed up at City Hall.
Okay.
But then they started doing these parades, and then going to City Hall. It started one place, then it would end up at City Hall. But then, they started doing it, driving to Staples when they created Staples Center.
Yeah.
Then they started doing the parade down Figueroa, I believe, all the way to Staples. And when the Dodgers won in '88, there was no parade. They just showed up at City Hall. And everyone was just around, just a mass of people everywhere.
Yeah.
Just to see the Dodgers. And now, what's going to be, like LeBron wants that combined Laker-Dodger parade. Oh, my God.
A lot of people have been saying it. Kyle Kuzma, Jared Dudley, Danny Green, and then you have Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, who are also pushing that. It's gonna be, oh my, like, how do you do something like that? Do you have one bus with both titles? Do you have multiple buses? Do you have, like, what do you do? This is gonna
that's a great problem to have.
Exactly. The minds that are gonna come together to figure this out, like, we're gonna probably see planes flying over. We're gonna probably see some zip lining across the skylines. It's gonna be wild.
Well, the last parade, we ended up at the Coliseum. Right?
Yeah, I remember that in 2010.
The Kobe,
Yeah.
the Kobe championships.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
That's a good idea. Let's end up at the Coliseum.
Holds 100,000 people.
Pack that thing with 100,000 people.
Woo! If the Coliseum was packed with Laker fans in 2010, Dodger fans, damn, there's really nowhere that, and not to mention the parade route, it was filled.
Yeah.
So you had the parade route that was filled, and you had the Coliseum that was filled. So this is a problem.
They can pull it off, and I think they should go to the Coliseum. You know, the Dodgers started their season at the Coliseum in '58.
Yeah, I remember that.
They played there for 3 years or 4 years. They opened up Dodger Stadium in '62.
Yeah, they had a.
This is what I wanted to show you, Jay. These are the coins. Can you see that?
No, I can't really make them out, but I see the circles.
So these are the coins that used to go into Dodger Stadium when they opened it up in '62. Those are the actual coins. These are the actual coins that they used to have to use to go into the turnstile. But they should have it at the Coliseum. They should do it. Go down Figueroa, maybe go down a couple streets, go up and down, and just Broadway. Let's do it. Let's do this up really, really nice. And I can see it happening. I can see it happening in February, after everybody gets the vaccine and everybody wears masks. So I could see it happening.
I mean, hopefully that is definitely going to be a lot of people are going to be calling out a sick. I could just already see it. Chaos and pandemonium, people just celebrating and going crazy.
You're a world champion, Jay.
So are you, but you are a multi. I'm talking about, how many championships have you been alive for? And have you
I've seen
63, right? Since 63?
I could remember 3.
81, 88, and now 2020.
But when 65, I was like 7. I didn't really know what was going on.
So, but I mean, you were technically alive, and you were around for 63, 65, 81, 88, now 2020.
81 and 88, Fernando Mania was unbelievable.
Oh,
that was just the whole city was going crazy. And one thing, I haven't heard anything from Tommy. Have you seen anything that Tommy Lasorda wrote? I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen. I know Vin Scully tweeted out.
I have not seen any acknowledgement from Tommy Lasorda. I saw Vinny, but nothing from Tommy, and I hope Tommy is okay. Shout out to Tommy Lasorda. I'm glad Dave Roberts didn't pull Julio Urias.
Oh my God, let's talk about that. Oh my God, let's talk about that miracle, man. His press conference, even he didn't know that he was gonna close out the game. He just thought he was out there for one out. That's what he thought. That's what he went out and said. And it turns out that before he knew it, he had 2 outs, 3 outs, 4 outs. He was in the 8th. He was done with the 8th. Then he goes into a 9th, and I remember him saying, like, he was just there for 1 out, and he ends up closing it, and it was like an unbelievable feeling, like just.
Well, that's baseball, right? I mean, you see with your 2 eyes. Here's the thing. Cash is going to be. He's already been torched.
Yeah, he's got to get torched. Easy. He's got to get torched.
He should have never pulled him out. That guy was throwing. He was dealing, and everyone knows it.
Yep.
The 1-3 was 0 for 6 with 6 Ks.
Yep.
I mean, they couldn't figure him out,
mm-hmm.
and he went with his playbook. And analytics is supposed to be a tool to help you make a decision. It's not. Hey, if analytics ran the game, you wouldn't need a manager. You would just go by what a computer says you should do, and that's not baseball. And any baseball player knows it. There's a feel, something you see. It's intangible. You can't touch it, but you know it's there.
Yep.
So Dave Roberts lost a couple of World Series because of cheating, but also he made some stupid mistakes, and he did it again in this World Series, bringing in Kenley Jansen, knowing that Jansen didn't have anything left, but he tried to give him, one more hurrah, and almost cost us the World Series. But thank God the rest of the guys, they put enough runs up and they played out of their minds and we won the thing. But, you just got to go with the gut feeling. And Dave went with his gut feeling and left Julio Urias in there. And you know what? Julio Urias is going to he's going to want a hell of a lot of money, man.
He earned it. He's earned it. Absolutely deserves that money. Here's the thing, and this was crazy. I didn't know he was this stat came up, but he's at 24 years old, 76 days. He's the youngest and only Mexican-born pitcher to finish a World Series clinching game and get 4 wins during the playoff run. So he got 4 regular playoff wins, and he closed out the World Series. This is incredible. He might not seem like he can pitch like during the regular season. He's pretty decent. I would say he's above average.
He is a really good lefty. He's the future. You could see. I was kind of disappointed in Gosselin.
Same.
But he wasn't.
1 run.
I didn't think Roberts did Gosselin a favor by putting him in relief or starting him 1 or 2 innings. These guys knew I'm going to start, maybe throw 2 innings, and then I'm going to be pulled. So, I don't like that theory. They should have just left him in there and see where it went with Dustin May.
Mm-hmm.
With Tony Gosselin. His ERA, we talked about it.
It was a 12, I think, when you said.
Yeah, it was 9 something before the game 6. So, it was, hey, it worked out. It worked out because the bullpen came in. Your boy Triton came in and shut him down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's going to be a free agent. There's 7 free agents, coming up. 7 guys that are not going to. The team will look not totally different, but it will look different.
Big moves, absolutely big moves. So here's my thing. Here's my question to you. 7. You just mentioned 7 players that are going to be out. I think it's fair to say the one that for sure has to come back is Justin Turner, right?
That's going to be what we old timers used to say a $64,000 question. Which is a throwback phrase to a game show back in the 50s. It's like that's the craziest question you could ask. You don't know the answer. How much is Turner going to want?
Yeah.
He redid himself 6 years ago, and he became the heart and soul, really, of the team, keeping the guys together. That's it's puzzling that he came up with COVID-19 because he had his own set of rules. There was the protocol and the rules for MLB, but then he came up with, as the leader of the team, these are going to be our extra set of rules, so none of us get sick.
Yeah.
And then he comes up sick. So,
it's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, Manfred is being a bitch, and this is legit the last straw. When I see him, I'm dumping shit on him. Like I'm literally going to the bathroom, shitting in a cup, and when he's here for the 2022 All-Star game, when I see him walking down that escalator or that elevator or wherever he's at, I'm just dumping that shit right in his fucking face.
Let's see if he's still the commissioner of baseball after this.
I mean,
look, this was ridiculous. Look, it was inconclusive from everything I've seen and I've read. The testing was inconclusive before Game 6.
Yes.
Meaning that they did not know if he was positive or negative.
Correct.
At that point, you don't let in the NFL, if you're inconclusive, you're not playing.
Correct.
So they let Turner play, and then they get the test results in the 7th inning, and they pull him out of the game.
And that's a test that he took on Tuesday. So it wasn't a test that he took the day before on Monday. It was a test from Tuesday that they had to rush.
We're talking about Major League Baseball. These guys have a ton of money. I mean, why don't each team have a doctor in their locker room and they take tests prior. The NFL does it. The NBA was doing it every game. Why was Major League Baseball so lax?
See, you ask questions and then you start realizing how suspicious this all is. Because now, see, that adds on to my suspicion that I already had. Because here's my belief. I believe Manfred had it out for Justin Turner because out of everybody that spoke out, Trevor Bauer, some of the, Mike Clevenger, all these other players that spoke out and really badmouthed Manfred for the blunder that he busted with Houston, Justin Turner was the only one that really spoke out as well, called him weak.
Yes, he did.
And he was the only one that was in the World Series because the other Dodgers, they just danced around it. They said, yeah, it's not fair, blah, but they never trashed Manfred. Everybody said it was unfair, it's not right, blah, blah, blah. But Justin Turner was the only Dodger that actually said Manfred was weak. He was the only one that criticized Manfred directly. So
Those were the actual words.
Yeah. So how weird is it
weak.
that a decisive game, a game that Justin Turner has been waiting his entire career to celebrate, he didn't even get to experience that. Rob Manfred stole that from him. The celebration of being on the field.
This was a personal thing.
It definitely is. Because see, right now that you mentioned, why didn't they have a doctor? Now that brings into my speculation of why wasn't there a doctor present there? And also, why are the test results being sent out to Utah? And then from Utah, the second one is being sent out to Boston. Why is that bullshit happening? Why isn't there something in Texas? Like, nowhere in Texas can anybody test these out? Really?
Yes.
The entire state of Texas doesn't have a facility that could test and find out if someone is COVID positive. We got to send it out of state or even California. You couldn't send it out to California? Really?
Look,
this is where
the
we're at?
NFL and the NBA, they're constantly testing. That's why these guys are coming up positive, some of these players in the NFL, and then they're separating everybody right away. So, and they have people. You saw Hard Knocks. Did you see Hard Knocks?
No.
Jay?
No.
Okay. Before every practice, they would come into the facility. Everybody got tested.
Okay.
That morning, and they would know within minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we're going to test you and then find out tomorrow. No, within minutes they would know. So you could either be at practice that day. And then, recently, they just shut down the Chargers. Today, I think they shut down the Chargers facility because somebody came up testing positive for COVID. So, look, you're playing in the friggin' World Series, and you don't have doctors and these testing going on before the game, after the game, earlier in the day. They should have been tested 3 times a day, easy, and then have the results right there. Boom, 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 boom. They have the money. It said, I really don't understand why they did not do this. And, Fred Rogan today on his talk show with Rodney Peete, we're talking about this same issue. They're using Justin Turner as a scapegoat. And I your theory or your belief or, of that they're setting Turner up could be very well true.
A petty grudge with Rob Manfred, plain and simple.
Yeah.
It's got to be
but
that.
Look how much money is going to be involved. If they're saying, well, then Justin comes out and they said there was a letter that said that we tried to restrain and told Turner he couldn't go back on the field by Major League Baseball.
Supposedly,
letter.
Yeah.
Yes, and they said that he refused to abide by our rule and went out onto the field anyway. So then he sat next to Dave Roberts, who's a cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of...
To unravel with that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of muddy water here. There's a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
There's the protocols should have been more clear, and they should have been able to figure this out before we got to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really
cost Turner money.
It is, and it's fucked up because Rob Manfred's gonna punish Justin Turner more than he punished any of the Astro players, all of them combined. That's the really fucked up part.
Yeah, I heard 60 game suspension.
What? Oh my God, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, at the minimum 60 games next season.
Wow.
But then now you're 35. You're Justin Turner, 35, looking to sign a contract with somebody,
And you can't really start the
and
season
you
with a
can't
team.
go and play for the first 60 games. That's going to affect his net worth.
But look, either way, there's got to be an actual case to defend Justin Turner because first off, a bubble should not have fans. And are these fans inside the stadium getting tested? And if so, what are the tests like? Is it just a measuring of the fucking temperature? Because that's bullshit. I get that temperature shit all the time, and I've already been in areas where people have tested positive for COVID because that didn't work. That alone didn't work. They were still asymptomatic. So
Right.
what?
I know a few people that wwent to the World Series. There was no social distancing.
The partying outside as well.
Right. I heard the story. People were telling me, yeah, Mike, there was no social distancing. We get a hot dog, a beer, and they had little signs on the floor.
Yeah.
But no one was abiding by them. Everyone was up close.
Yeah.
There was nobody there telling us to stay apart. I mean, and then, they enclosed the stadium. It was open for the first few games. It was nice weather.
Yes.
But it got real cold, so they closed the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And once you close the roof, then now you have to hope the ventilation system is good. And, that's why I'm thinking, I heard also today that, maybe he got it from a fan because he was going, on a foul ball or people that were coming down to the,
how?
To the area.
That adds more to the question. Like, how did he get it in a bubble if he's isolated from everybody? And I also heard that a Rays player's wife, contracted COVID.
Exactly.
So are they trying to imply that Justin Turner had an affair with a Rays wife? What is the situation here? Like, why include a Rays player's wife and then compare it to Justin Turner as well? Like, what is the correlation here? That's completely different subjects, but somehow, some way, they're trying to connect both things. And now,
we're gonna have to find out more if they were staying in the same hotels.
Yeah.
Contact tracing is going to have to be really enforced.
My question to you might know this, but Rob Manfred just blatantly through the loudspeaker, mid post game like celebration, he straight out said, "Oh, Justin Turner has COVID." Isn't that a HIPAA violation?
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know what they signed prior to,
like under contract.
Yeah, they might have signed a waiver saying that if anyone became, positive, that they were able to announce it. I mean, we don't know. I don't know what the stipulations were for the players, but I do know that that I was going live after the game, and someone had brought it to my attention, and when they announced it right after the game, and exactly when you were talking about, I was talking on my Facebook Live, and I was in shock. I mean, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It sucks because he is the heart and soul of our team. He does so much for the community.
Yep.
And then he came back out. I don't know. I heard that the team was saying, "Come out here."
Yeah, he was. They were.
The argument is that he's been around everybody all day long,
mm-hmm.
and so at that point, it didn't matter if he was out on the field. But still, you can't take that chance. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going, a lot of noise around Justin Turner and the World Series, but does it matter really? Does it matter to our championship? Does it tarnish our championship?
Hell no.
It should not tarnish the hard work that these guys put in to win a championship.
Exactly. There's absolutely no reason for that.
Was it a mistake for him to go out onto the field? I think it was a mistake. But you know what? He's a competitor. Does he get a pass? In my book, I blame Major League Baseball. I don't blame
100%.
Justin Turner.
100%.
I blame Major League Baseball. They dropped the ball. They should have done something, had something set up better than for the players to be exposed like this. Hey, the NBA did it right. The NBA did it right. Nobody got sick there. No one tested positive. Football is a whole different animal. I mean, I'm just hoping that we finish the season. You know, people are getting sick left and right. And, you know, they're saying, well, in Major League Baseball, everybody was good up until the last game of the World Series. But it should have never been that. It should have never come to that. So, congratulations to Dodger fans.
Yes.
We have won the World Series.
That's what we should be focused on.
The Lakers won the World
Yes.
NBA
Yes.
championship. And 2020 has been a
Shit
fest for everybody. But we've come out on top. We are champions. LA, Los Angeles is the center of the sports world.
One more team. We just need one more big team to win it on. That's the Rams. We need the Rams to follow suit and begin 2021 for LA to win championships. Then we go into I believe the next team that would have to win would be the Galaxy. Then it would have to be,
yes.
and then it would have to be the Kings. And then we repeat again with the Lakers. Then we go into the Sparks. Then we go into, or actually it would be the Sparks, Lakers. And we repeat again with Dodgers. And we end 2021 as the official all-time greatest championship run for LA since the history of, I don't know, the invention of the wheel.
Well, right now, you know, Boston, when the Red Sox and the Patriots won their championships, talked a lot of shit. But hey,
they
know what?
They cheated straight up.
Right. The Celtics haven't done shit, and right now the Lakers and the Dodgers are champions, just like 1988, just like 1988.
Yeah.
And I remember 1988 like it was yesterday. And I'm so happy for you guys. You got to experience a championship. I saw you out there, Jay, just getting hog crazy with the fans, and you wore your mask. A lot of people wearing their mask. And that's the main thing. You got to wear your mask. You got to social distance, but you can still go out there and scream and yell. Just wear your mask. Keep away from everybody.
Yeah, I still feel hungover. Like I don't know why. I just feel drained. Like I just can't. Honestly, like it's kind of like messed up, but in a good way. I'm glad the Dodgers lost on Saturday, because that would have meant that on Sunday I would have had to have cut my trip short and rush home to watch the closing out game. So I'm kind of glad it worked out the way it did. Kenley Jensen blowing it, but you know, all things happen for a reason. They happen for a reason. So unfortunately,
who do you think? Okay, you had mentioned it earlier about Justin Turner. The Dodgers should they sign Justin Turner? What would you offer him?
What is it? Let me see what his current contract is, because it's got to be like a percentage of that.
Well, it's $64 million. He signed it in 2016. $64 million.
Wasn't it 2017? It was 2017 when he signed the contract. And I remember 2017 because he was at Kenley Jensen's wedding. And he told Kenley, hey, they just called me and they offered me such and such, so I'm running it back. And that fired up Kenley Jensen. And Kenley Jensen had one of the best seasons ever. Like,
I remember he pitched really well.
He
did well.
Yeah.
So what do you offer a Turner?
So you're saying $64 million was
Turner take a discount?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, he's already up there in age. He's coming back from multiple injuries. He can still play the hot corner. So realistically, I honestly would probably offer him, 10 to 15, 2 years.
For a year?
2 years, 10 to 15.
2 years?
So it'll be like an $7 to $8 million contract.
But he went MIA in the World Series as far as being at the plate. Right? He just missed a home run.
Yeah, he did. Oh my God, that close. Yeah, you're right. But still, he's worth it as far as leadership, as far as what he does at third base, the motivation. What he brings as a person is worth a lot. Very worthy.
Well, I think at third base he might be able to play one more year, but after that I don't think so. I think maybe he goes to first.
Yeah, that or
maybe
DH.
Let Max Muncy have a shot at it, or Edwin Rios.
Yep.
There are other avenues.
Yeah.
There are LeMahieu becomes a free agent and he could play third base.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Peterson made seven almost 8 million last year.
Based
And
on his postseason performance, he's gonna get paid.
Yeah, he will get. Hernandez is going to get paid.
Hernandez is
And
gonna get paid.
is Kiki Hernandez an everyday second baseman? But the Dodgers don't have. The Dodgers have a shortstop.
Yes, which they gotta pay.
The Dodgers have a center fielder.
Yeah.
And right now they have Mac Muncy at first, and everything else is plug. Well, Turner at third, but left field, right field now Mookie Betts. So left field and second base, and then the catchers switch off. So left field and second base are your questions. Now you have Peterson, who played in the World Series, but at second base they were looking for Gavin Lux to be the guy, right? And he just looked terrible. He looked lost.
He wasn't even included in the NLCS or the World Series roster. He was just there to just be there. But nah, I'm honestly not even counting him for the near future for the Dodgers.
So your position players that are going to be free agents are Turner, Peterson, and Kiki.
Fuck. Well, for me personally, Turner's got to come back. That's priority number one. Well, Seager's going to be priority number one. That's focus.
You got to give Seager the world.
Yeah, blank check here.
Yeah.
So Seager's priority. Turner would be second, immediately as well. Working on both contracts with both of them. And Jock, I just, what he does in the postseason is amazing, but regular season is just, what are you doing? So I'm I don't know about Jock. How do you feel about Jock?
If we didn't have Jock Peterson, we don't win the World Series this year.
Yep.
And he was gone to the Angels.
Yep. Oh my God, yes.
Good old Artie.
What an idiot.
He dropped the ball.
What an idiot. Yeah. That's idiot.
So, how good is the Dodger pitching? Well, they get rid of Maheda.
Rich Hill.
They got rid of Maheda. They got rid of Ryu. They got rid of some of their frontline pitching.
Yup.
And they still had enough to win the World Series.
Yep.
So that tells you what the pitching.
And let's not forget, no David Price.
And he's still under contract.
For 2 more years, I believe.
Yeah. So, Baez is gone. Baez will not.
No hesitation. Okay, I'm with you on that. Training. I know Training is another free agent. How you feeling about him?
He's going to want more money.
What did we sign him for 1 million?
1 year, $10 million.
1 year, $10 million. Okay.
But one of these analysts said on MLB says, the Dodgers, the difference between the Dodgers and the Rays is the Dodgers could have a $10 million 1 year reliever in the bullpen, and the Rays can't do that. Analytics killed the Rays. We kind of run the team, the Dodgers, in a similar fashion, but we have better players.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I think. I've been down on Dave Roberts for a long time.
Yeah, we all have.
I didn't because he didn't have any balls to me. He didn't stand up to the analytics part of their scheme. But this last playoff, I saw with Mookie Betts made a big difference because he was able to hit and run. He was able to double steal. We saw a suicide squeeze, and Betts scored twice from third base on ground balls hit to the right side of the infield that was playing in, and he was safe.
Yep.
And you don't teach. It's hard to teach that. You can teach it, but to have to be athletic
running on
enough
contact
to pull that shit off. Oh man.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is he's the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had the difference between this team and the other 3 years prior. Mookie Betts.
Well, 2017, it's kind of hard to discount that 2017 team. I mean, that team was the greatest ever. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the greatest team ever. Unfortunately, they ran into
the Astros,
it took cheating for them to lose. Yeah. So they took the Dodgers to 7 despite the cheating, and they were heavy cheating. We're talking about some espionage. Like Russia probably called Jim Crane and asked him, "Hey, can you help us? We need some help with espionage. How did you guys pull it off? So that's the level of cheating they were doing. And the Dodgers still took them to 7. And realistically, the Astros weren't even supposed to be there. They would have taken any team to 4. It's a clean sweep for the Dodgers for anybody else. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm with you.
We didn't even see Kelly in the World. Did Kelly pitch? I can't recall an inning.
I want to say he did pitch maybe 1 inning, like game 1 or game 2 maybe. But you're right. Like
that's how deep we are, right?
Dave Roberts played it safe, and he kept going to May, Urias, Gratterall, Trainin, and I think Gonzalez, the other guy. Oh my God, you were so on that guy too. Like you were like talking
Gonzalez.
about so highly of him, and it was just like, wow, okay, all right. Let me see. Actually, I'm interested in Joe Kelly. Did he? He did. He actually pitched 2 innings on the 20th. Yeah, game 1 and game 2. He got 2. He allowed 2 hits in game 2 though. Struck out 3 people in those 2 outings. Yeah, he pitched 3 innings.
Oh, see, it's just
2
a
innings,
blur, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's a blur.
Yeah, it feels like it was a long time ago. And Tuesday was just like 2 days ago.
A couple days ago.
It's crazy. Honestly, it's a blur. It's still a blur to me. Like the Lakers just won 2, and that's a blur to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all been happening in 2 weeks. The Lakers win the championship, the Dodgers go into the World Series, and then a few days later we're champions and the Dodgers are champions.
That's amazing. Okay, so going back to the free agents, your thoughts on Jock?
You know, it's up to Jock Peterson.
But you, as Andrew Friedman, like, would you?
If I was Andrew Friedman, I'd have to look at the money. Remember, I was saying that there's no fans in the stands. There's no concessions. 40% of their revenue is gone.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Even though they signed that $10 billion contract with Time Warner,
they're still expenses.
There's still a lot of money that they've lost.
Yep.
And obviously, they're into the business of making money, right? That's why they have the Dodgers. They want to make money. So what do you do? And what's going to happen with the players? So there's a lot of questions. How do you sign somebody? You, as a player, you could go in and say, look, man, I'm worth $10 million a year for 4 years. I'm worth $40 million. As an owner,
yeah,
or a general manager, you come back and say, well, we don't have that kind of money anymore because of what happened with COVID. So you're going to have to figure out if you want to play for less money because of the situation. That's also true with Turner. You're going to have to take less money because there's less revenue coming in. And that's just basic math. So
do you think by next year, 2021, fans will be in the stands?
You know, I'm hoping
We're talking about April.
We'll be able to get half the arenas back.
See that I think they'll push. I firmly believe eventually all sports is going to push to at least 25% capacity. Tickets are going to be mad expensive. Concessions are going to be super. You're going to have to take out a loan to buy a hot dog.
Take out a loan to go to a Dodger game.
Yeah. But
it can be done.
Yeah.
If everyone wears a mask. It all depends, and I hate to be political about this, but who wins the presidency next week? If Trump wins it, then we're screwed. Because, you know, he's going to say, go to the games, it doesn't matter, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. Look what I did for Big Ten football, blah, blah, blah. People go to the game, and grandpa and grandma and uncle and auntie.
I survived COVID, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to die.
Yeah.
Because they want to go see their teams.
Yeah.
Is it worth to die to go watch your favorite team? Not for me. No, thank you. I'm going to take my chances being isolated
and watch it at home.
But if Biden becomes president and puts a mask mandate, everyone has to wear masks at any event, you know, then I can see us going on a downward trend. Look, this COVID has been around a long time. It has different numbers, It's not nothing new. It's just 19 is a different strain, and it's a killing strain. So it's just like the flu in the sense. So Trump is right. It's like the flu. It's a virus, and they're going to have to come up with some type of vaccine for everybody. And so, and even a vaccine isn't always 100% certain. You're going to take a risk.
Yep.
But they're going to have to come up with something, Jay. And I think that the fans will be there at least at 25 to 50% capacity next year. But this year is a wash. You're going to have to just, and you got to figure out. So you figure that out. You figure, okay, 25%, 30, 40% of the fans. So how much do you pay the players now?
Yeah.
See, it's going to be, there's a tightrope. You know, these agents who want a lot of money for these guys,
Boris,
they're going to have to come to some type of an agreement. Well, the money's not always going to, it's not going to be there right away. It has to build up.
Yeah.
It may be there 3 years from now, but for damn sure next year, the money's not going to be there. So television revenues, maybe they, you know, I mean, I don't, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult. Thank God the Dodgers have a great farm system.
Yeah.
Because these guys down in the farm system, they could rely on these guys. Like we had just mentioned, Edward Rios, he could play third base if Turner doesn't want to come back.
Cody Hose can make an early appearance as well.
And we're talking about the Dodgers payroll. Can you imagine being the Devil Rays or the Rays or one of these low market
Kansas
teams?
City.
Kansas City.
Even the
How
Marlins.
do they fill their roster and be competitive?
Yeah.
It's going to be very tough. And the guys who hit, it's bad timing for the free agents right now, but that it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, it's unforeseen. Like no one could have predicted
No
this.
one saw this coming.
Yeah. So yeah,
we were lucky to get the World Series in.
Mm-hmm.
We were very lucky to see it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate sports because there was, you know, remember there was like
dark
2
times.
months where we were watching highlights for 2 months.
And just listening to people repeat, and it was just dark times. My God, it was bad. But look, Manfred got what he wanted. He got the fans talking shit about Justin Turner. He got his revenge. And now he's, you know, splitting the Dodger fans, or he's attempting to split the fans by saying it was right, it was wrong, it was his fault, it wasn't his fault, it was dumb, it was right, whatever. But now we're debating everybody around. I'm talking about everybody from people like you and me to
Right.
Max Kellerman to Stephen A. Smith, people that normally talk about baseball, focusing on Justin Turner. Not the Dodgers winning the World Series, but Justin Turner. So
Yeah,
this
the focus
is
of the championship is taken off,
exactly.
off the team.
Exactly. So we you know, just you and I ourselves, starting off with you and I, we got to start, you know, pushing back the focus onto the World Series, onto the championship, onto the fact that, yeah, the Padres are butthurt. They're little bitches. The Boston Red Sox are also butthurt. The Houston Astros are talking that shit with their fake-ass title. But none of them can actually say, you're champions. More than half the league qualified for the playoffs. We're talking about more than 16 teams out of 30 teams made it to the postseason. Your team didn't win. So if they want to say it was an easy title because it was a shortened season, why didn't your team win? Where was your team?
They're talking about restructuring the playoffs too.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, see, Manfred doesn't know what he's doing.
16 teams, and then the 2 teams with the best record in each
league, or league
gets a bye.
Nah,
So
that's kind of dumb because
14 teams.
I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about? See, I believe in momentum. I believe in character. I believe in all these little things that you can't measure you can't physically touch and feel, and like you just don't see it. But I believe
Momentum.
I believe in momentum. I believe in chemistry. Yeah. I believe in these little things that make a huge difference. So giving a team, I don't know how long a bye would a bye, you know, whatever it is, would be, but I think it takes away the momentum that
Yeah, it's
carries
called
on.
they call it rust. You got to knock the rust off once you're resting,
Exactly.
and you don't have a rhythm.
You have a
And
team that's going to play a game to survive, to play the best team, going into the team already woke, already structured and ready and
yeah,
prepared, as opposed to the team that was sitting out and just practicing, figuring things out little by little, just sitting out, practicing little by little. That team doesn't have the momentum, doesn't have, the warm up that the team that's coming to play them has. The team that's coming into
right.
play just fought for their life. They were stuck to the corner. So I believe in that. So it's kind of dumb to have a team that isn't supposed to be there playing. Like the Astros weren't supposed to be there, but they were there.
Yeah, it, I don't know about the rest part. Yeah, you gotta stay sharp.
Yep.
In order to stay sharp, you gotta play. So
Yeah. So 16 teams.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think the bye sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. If you have injured players, it gives them some time to rest. But then this is a team sport, so you got to think of the team as a whole. And then it comes down to money too, right? How many games can we get? They're talking about the NBA cutting down to a 62 game season instead of 82, which I've been advocating. I like that, taking those 20 games off, because that's 82 games, a lot of games. 162 games in a baseball season is a lot of games.
Yes. Well, okay, let's talk about that. What do you feel is a good number for baseball? Because I've always said that as well. 162 is a grind. Oh my God! Even as a fan to watch.
Yeah, 162 games is too many games, but we could say all we want about them shortening the games in the season. They're not going to shorten.
Yeah.
Because of the money situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bottom line is how much money they could make and how many games they can. And if there's 162 games already set, so they're not going backwards as far as less money in concession. Even though COVID has put a whole different spin on everything. The reason they wanted to finish, they wanted the games to go on, and they wanted a World Series in the season, is because they didn't want people to get disinterested in the sport. Yeah. They didn't want they wanted to keep it alive and keep it moving. And that's why, the NBA did a great freaking job. They did a great job putting it in the bubble, although there's only, so many people on the, from each team. It's a lot smaller amount of people. Football, like I said, the NFL is going to be, I don't know if they're going to finish this season, Jay.
This is how it was for the MLB as well. Like you had the Marlins who were out for 3 weeks. You had the Cardinals who were out for 2 weeks. You had the Yankees.
But in baseball, you could play double headers.
Yeah, you could actually.
In football, you can't play a double header.
Yeah, that's true.
You play one Sunday, and it'll kick your ass, and it takes your body to recover.
Yeah.
It takes 5-6 days till your body recovers to play that next week.
You're right.
So if you miss a few games, how do you make them up?
Do you extend the entire season for everybody?
That would be the only way of doing it, to extend the season.
Yeah, but that would mean like a bunch of teams would not play because they played out their entire. Like for example, the Rams haven't missed out a game. So if a team like who has the Titans, like the Titans, you look at the Titans and they missed out already 1 week, which is already rescheduled to be played, I believe week 7 or 8.
Right.
But does that mean that everybody else has to wait on them to play out their game for the season to be officially over and they can start the playoffs? Like what happens here if another team now becomes contracted and then you got to extend the season again? Or it just becomes a shit show. I get you. Okay, so it really wouldn't work out for the NFL.
It wouldn't work out. And so as we look at the NBA trying to start on December
22nd?
Before Christmas, and the draft is on the 8th. They have a set of rules on how they have to wait 30 days after the draft and all this other bullshit. They're going to have to rewrite all these rules in order to be able to do the season. And then load management. I mean, You're not gonna. LeBron James is 35, 36 years old.
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
He's, his body's taking a beating.
Mm-hmm.
They played almost a calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
He needs rest. He
Yeah.
needs at least 3 months rest. So there's going to be a lot of games where these guys are not going to play. So your strategy going into the season, if you're the Lakers or a team like the Heat or any team that went deep into the playoff, is load management. You just try to play enough games to get yourself into the playoffs, then take your shot there.
You mentioned the last episode, right, where you said we don't need the number 1 seed, right, as Lakers.
Right. You don't need to be the number 1
You just
seed.
need to be in the playoffs. That's where
you
you
just need to be in the playoffs, get into the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's plenty of times where a team that can get into the tournament, then that's what it is. It's called it's a tournament, playoff tournament. You just get into the playoffs, you get into the tournament, and then you try to gain momentum towards the tournament. So, say for example, you're playing 4 months. The first 3 months you play okay, good enough so you can get into the tournament. Once you get into the tournament, the last 15 to 20 days, you really rev up to get your team playing smoothly, everybody clicking, and then you go into the tournament with all cylinders, and you're good to go. So, really, that's the way you're going to have to look at this next season if you're in the NBA. You can't be thinking, I want to be number 1 seed, because, especially the Lakers, because, AD took a beating.
Yeah.
So did LeBron.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. It's going to take a little manipulation as far as them trying to figure it all out, but it can be done.
I believe so. I believe you. I'll follow that. I mean, I was one of the guys that gave up. I don't know how many people are going to admit it, but I was one of the few that actually... Oh my God! Like looking back at my old messages, I used to talk so much trash about Clayton Kershaw, this and that, and then I found out that he was cheated, and I regret it. I regret everything I said. It's still out there. I don't, I'm never gonna pull anything away from what I say. Whenever I say it, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna own up to it. I'm not, and whatever
Right.
heat I get.
Man of your word, Jay.
Yeah, whatever heat I get from it, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna live by it. AJ Pollock, look, you gave me great reason to talk that trash about you and lose faith in you. 11 strikeouts in 4 games. Come on, guys.
Yes.
But he shut me up this year. Congratulations. I'm gonna make that video about AJ Pollock apologizing and a highlight reel, man. I gotta show my respect and admiration for him, Clayton Kershaw as well. Dodger fans out there.
Oh, Dodgers.
Fuck Rob Manfred. Don't listen to his bitch ass. He's trying to separate all of us and try to focus on the JT situation. Don't worry about it. Focus on celebrating. Tell us where you're celebrating. And listen, next week, we're going to be giving away... honestly, I don't know. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go find a lanyard. I'm going to go find some things out. And we're going to go shopping. And we're going to give out some stuff next week. So stay tuned for that. But focus on championship. I'm hoping by next week I get my hat. I'm hoping by next week I'm doing a show with the championship hat, because right now I have this championship hat. celebrating this. And yeah, we're happy. We're excited. I'm loving the fact that LeBron... Yo, Kendrick Perkins, you know who Kendrick Perkins is, right?
Yes,
Plays for the Celtics.
Kendrick Perkins.
Even he went out on social media and said, Rams, it's your turn. Pressure is on the Rams.
It's time for the Rams to step up. Look, I wasn't alive in 51 when they won the championship in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That is the first professional championship in the city of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Rams won the NFL championship in 1951.
Yeah.
I was born 7 years later. I seen all the Laker championships. I remember now it's 3 Dodger championships.
So wait a minute, you were alive for the 59 World Series?
Yes, I was 2 years old.
Wow. Okay. See, now the only World Series that you have not seen for the Dodgers is 55. But you've
Yes.
seen every single well, you were alive.
Well, I was alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you didn't see
Los
the early
Angeles
Lakers.
championships,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've seen every Los Angeles championship.
Yeah.
My God, except for the Rams. That's the only thing you haven't seen.
That's what I want to see, because when they Rams won the Super Bowl, they were in St. Louis.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so I want the Rams. I'm pleading with you, Rams. Bring home a championship to Los Angeles.
They're motivated. I'm telling you right now, everything that I'm hearing,
pleading with
everything
you.
that I'm seeing,
Come
they're
on, Jared
motivated.
Goff.
Oh,
You
they're
guys
motivated.
can do this. Aaron
Oh.
Donald, you can bring home a championship.
Woo.
And when
How-
you do that, that'll be the trifecta.
Oh, my God.
And the world will be in the right place.
Mike,
COVID or
how?
no COVID.
How are we gonna do a parade with 3 championships?
We'll figure it out.
How? I would love to. I want to find out. Rams, the pressure is on. The pressure, we
Pressure's
want it.
on the Rams.
We
It's
want
your
it.
turn, Rams.
I'm not.
It's
Look,
your
I'm not a.
turn.
I'm admit to you guys. I'm not a football fan. I don't follow football like that. But just for this occasion, I'm gonna watch every single minute of every single game of the Rams, and I'm gonna root for you guys to win it all. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna give you guys the full 100. When you guys fuck up, you're gonna get the same treatment the Lakers got. You're gonna get the same treatment the Dodgers got. I'm gonna talk that shit about you guys. But when you guys win, I'm also gonna talk shit about you guys. But I'm also gonna congratulate you guys. But Rams, oh God, I want you guys to win so bad. I want
The
you
Rams
guys.
are 5-2, and we have a shot as long as we make the playoffs.
Should
I've
be
always said
6
this,
and 1.
Jay. Football's a game of nutrition. You got to be able to go through the whole season and get to that end of the season where you're healthy and you have a good shot. No
Mhm.
matter who you are, if you're healthy, you have a good shot, and that's what the Rams need to do. They lost that kid Burrows on Monday with broken ankle. He's a rookie, but we
Damn.
have other guys that will step up. Aaron Donald's playing out of his mind. The offense looks pretty damn good. So
Ooh, the offense looks amazing.
oh yeah, so we have a good team. The Rams have a really good team. Put it all together, win a Super Bowl this year, and hell yeah,
Let's get
it'll
it.
be great.
Let's get it. Let's get it, Rams. Let's get it. Horns up. Horns up. Let's get it.
Horns up.
Ah, damn. Dodgers, Lakers, Rams. Oh, city of champions. City of
City of Champions.
beautiful. Just beautiful. All right, guys. So next week, Thursday? Yeah, next week. Stay tuned. We are going to be giving stuff away. We're going to be talking more Dodgers, more Lakers. We're going to talk about the free agency, the Rams, and versus the Dolphins, see how they did and how they're motivated to win it all. But for the meantime, Mike, let everybody know where they can catch you.
You can find me on Twitter at OG Alley Rams Fan, or on Instagram at OG Alley Rams Fan, or on Facebook, Mike Bugrat. Go Dodgers!
Yes, sir.
Go
Yes,
Lakers!
sir.
Horns up, Ram fans!
Let's get it. Let's get it. Hopefully you guys are finally, like me, de-stressed and enjoying this
We are the
offseason.
champions.
This offseason. Enjoy it, guys, because we're back at it in December. We're going to be stressed again back in December. So with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week. And it's going to be an even bigger show. Mike, thank you so much for being on. Everybody out there still watching. Dodgers finally get over the hump, and we are no longer the chokers. Yes, it was a shortened season, but your team didn't win. Suckers. So with that, see you guys next week. Peace.